All right, so today we got India Love. India Love wants to get married.
I want that so bad for myself, but I know God's trying to help me get myself together so that I could be an amazing wife for my amazing husband. You know, time will tell.
Now, I'm not gonna knock her because somebody just proposed to Tiana Trump, a soccer player. He got that motherfucking dude and said, "Go, go, go, go," and got a lifetime prescription to the greatest throat on earth. Buddy went from kicking soccer balls to getting his balls emptied for real by the greatest ever. So it's most definitely possible. And I'm gonna say this: India Love is a cute girl, but let me talk to you really quick. See, you already at the top of the total pole. If I'm not mistaken, you were with Devin Haney, and I'm not sure if the whole thing with DDG is even real. Because I mean, I know how streamers are, how content creators are. They'll do what they do for the bag, and I'm not even mad at you. But you gotta also add to the fact that you got a OnlyFans. So you already at the top with the bag with some of the top people. The only other place you can go is down. You know, there's somebody that work at Amazon. There's somebody that work at UPS that would love that. You know, and the thing is, she actually look good. She a decent girl, right? She got the surgery going on, the plastic surgery. I ain't gonna lie. I deliver some hot meat and melt some plastic any day. But that's another story for another day. But at the same time, you always got to think about your past. Your only real options is somebody maybe in Nigeria, maybe a guy in Japan that got a bag. You know, they those guys don't mind. You know, sorry to compare you to Tiana Trump, but she's the extreme case. But she had to go and get her a foreigner that's a soccer player, and he doesn't mind. You know, that's that lifetime throat. And even looking at India, she probably a fun jump. She probably a fun little jump. I ain't gonna hold you. You know, she look like one of them jumps that got the high pitched moan. One of them type of jumps. But it's crazy how the tables turn, right? You start out in the OnlyFans, you could do the streaming thing, you did the social media thing, you got your body done, and I guess all of that wasn't enough for you to even you know feel fulfilled. But now you want a family, and most guys aren't with it. But there is a class of simps that will most definitely get in line for you, and I understand that they gotta have a bag. I know it's hard, especially with social media. Now, you is decent looking, but you gonna have to chuck up the L, get you a foreigner, or find you a straight up simp. It is what it is. You're gonna have to settle for a simp, settle for less. There's plenty of dudes that'll probably rock with it. But once you at the top and you done been with a lot of these top guys, most of them not gonna be with it up there. These basketball players, yeah, they'll knock you off. But putting a ring on it and having a kid, that's most definitely out of the question for the top tier guys. I mean, the higher you can go is Elon Musk, but Elon Musk don't like black joints. He knock up funny looking white jumps. So I don't really know what to tell you. I mean, like I said, you could use your looks to get whoever you want, but at the end of the day, once you start out at that, that's how everybody's gonna look at you for real. And I get it. You got your bag, get your money, live your life. But at the same time, publicly, most of these guys not gonna rock. And like I said, I don't know if DDG really on that. He got his own situation with, his baby mama and all that other shit going on. Who wanna deal with a second jump, right? That's a whole nother problem. And then once you add kids to the situation, you know, if it goes south, you got the child support and all that other stuff. Niggas don't want to deal with that shit for real. Niggas just want to get one off, get to this money, and have fun for real. And that's what you are. You probably a fun joint to be around. You seem kind of mature too, so I really can't knock your personality, but your history. We got to check your browsing history. We gotta pull the whole facts. We gotta pull the whole facts. If you ain't got the whole facts, it's definitely not happening. Now, I know every girl has a past, but the majority of them aren't public. That's what makes it a lot worse. It's one thing if you have a girl that live over in New Jersey that's rolling, and then she moved to Vermont. Niggas in Vermont not gonna know because that whole fact's not gonna come up. That whole fact's not on the internet. See, that's the difference. And once a lot of women learn that, they'll be a-okay. Unfortunately, it'll be, an L for the guy. But at the end of the day, most guys don't really know. What J. Cole say? You got to multiply by 3 or something like that. And that's just facts. But anyway, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Tap in with No Face, No Case, and stay tuned for the next video.